What's going on, guys? My name is Diggy. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to say before we get into the video, make sure you are liking and subscribing on all the new videos that are coming out. I'm really trying to stay committed and get on a schedule. I'm a student, so it's a little busy with that, but I'm trying to stay consistent within 2 to 3 days per video. I put out a mock draft. I'm putting out NFL free agency news and trades and such, so I'm obviously going to keep up with the Madden stuff, but we're kind of in a weird place with the offseason right now where not a whole lot is going on. So today I wanted to do a realistic rebuild for you guys with real life incoming rookies from the 2020 draft class. I'm really excited to get into it. I haven't picked a team yet. I was going to just do that kind of randomly. Obviously, with some of these teams like the Bears and the Texans, they don't have first round picks, so I'm hoping I don't get one of those teams. But I'm just going to cut away for a second, pick this team, and then we'll get into it. All right, so we have landed on the Green Bay Packers as our random team for today. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I haven't done a realistic Packers rebuild in a while. So as you can see, we've hopped in here at the Super Bowl, which we're going to sim past. And the Niners kill the Chiefs 31-3 to claim their first Super Bowl in a while and the first Super Bowl for Jimmy G. But obviously, that is not how it went down in real life. But I'm just going to change some settings up here really quick before we get into free agency, as we are going to take a look here for the first time. Brian Bulaga is obviously going to be here as our number one priority. He's 31. I'm comfortable extending him for another 3 years. Just give him that. Hopefully, he takes it as an offensive lineman, and he does. I don't know if he'll be super great in 3 years' time, but he's still, relatively young enough that, I'm comfortable extending him to that place. Blake Martinez is obviously also here with superstar development for whatever reason, but I'm not going to argue with it. He re-signs. I'm just going to quickly re-sign a couple more guys, and then I'll see you come free agency. All right, so we are here in free agency. All the usual suspects here. This hasn't really changed all that much since the end of the season in terms of new free agents or whatever. But we don't have a whole lot of money. I don't even really foresee Green Bay going out and getting a huge player this offseason regardless. They just don't have a whole lot of cap space. I only have $8 million to work with, so I doubt I'm going to sign anyone hugely impactful here. I might just try and go for like a bargain on a corner or something like that, like Trevor Williams, who is still relatively young. But for the most part, that's going to be it for what we do in free agency. I don't really foresee them making a big splash. Okay, it turns out I'm way overpaying for Trevor Williams here based on the other offers. So I'm going to lower this down here. Probably right about there. Seems fair enough. 86 points. I'm pretty comfortable with that. Just get some corner depth behind Jair Alexander and Kevin King. And we do get Trevor Williams. So as I mentioned, this is a realistic rebuild. Usually I would go download from the Madden share, but I'm pretty sure I already have Bengals file on here. And by the way, we are using Bengals 2020 NFL draft class. So shout out to him for creating this draft class. I know it took him a bunch of time and effort. Us in the community really appreciate him going through those lengths to make sure that a draft class is provided to us that actually seems relatively realistic. I know a lot of other draft classes are pretty heavily favored towards the incoming rookies in terms of their strength and stuff like that. Overalls are really high, developments are really high, so this at least seems relatively realistic. I know he's also updated it fairly recently. So, I mean, it's a great draft class. I wanted to shout him out for that because that's awesome. But now that we have that in place, I can just auto scout. For the most part, I know about these guys in this draft class. So, a little bit of name recognition and stuff like that is what we'll be going off of for the draft. But that's where we're heading right now. Again, thank you to Bengal. I'll leave his channel link in my description if you want to check him out, or if you haven't seen some of his content in the past. It's pretty similar to what we end up doing here, but he was kind of the inspiration for me getting into this. So I really appreciate him putting out this draft class, and it's great to use, and it's fun to use. Obviously, in the realistic style, I don't want to move around this board too much. That would be a relatively unrealistic thing to do. However, for the sake of the video, I do want to get one of those slightly upper echelon blue chip kind of incoming rookies. So we only have a 30th pick. So it's kind of difficult to get one of those guys, so I might look to trade up just once here. So I'm going to go through the salary, see if I can make a trade, and then I will let you guys know who we end up taking. All right, guys, so I'm back here. Turns out I couldn't find a trade that really worked for us, so I guess we are going to stick with number 30 overall. However, I do want to do something relatively realistic, which is ultimately releasing Jimmy Graham. That's been rumored to about to be going down once the free agency period actually starts. So I kind of wanted to get it out of the way. He's got a big old contract on him, and quite honestly, we don't need him. So I wanted to get rid of that. And now we are going to take a look at who is left on the board here for Green Bay. Now, there's a lot of rumors surrounding, do they need another receiver? I personally think that they do. I think Justin Jefferson would be an unbelievable prospect if he managed to fall to them at number 30, which I honestly don't believe is too unrealistic. If you ask me, that there's a huge amount of wide receiver talent, which I know everyone's talking about in this upcoming draft. I just simply would not be surprised if some of these top-end first-round guys manage to fall into the second round, which I think is great because it kind of spreads out the talent. And quite honestly, we've seen drafts where, receivers, 10 to 15 receivers are going in the first round. They're very hit or miss, so it doesn't always work out perfectly for teams. But I think Justin Jefferson is a great fit for this team. You have Devontae Adams, you have Justin Jefferson as a big outside guy, or you can throw him in the slot. He's fantastic there. Yeah, I think it just adds another dynamic to this offense. He's a 74 overall, number 32 in the class. We took him at number 30. I like the pick there. They add another weapon. I think it just makes a lot of sense. Here we are in the second round. Who do I like? Now, Jalen Reagor's obviously, in my opinion, a first-round talent at receiver. We just don't need him now on this team. KJ Hamler's another one of those guys who's lightning fast, great in the slot, but he's tiny. Antoine Winfield Jr. is the guy who I talked about in my other video about draft combine winners and losers. I think they put him in the losers column, but I could be wrong. But personally, I just think it's tough for a safety in this league with how big, athletic, and just unbelievable some of the new receivers are coming into the NFL. It's tough for me to have him. It's tough for me to predict him to have a great career, being 5'10" and 195. But crazier things have happened. He's a great player. So I think the pick here is going to be Albert O, and I don't know if there's enough talk about him around the league, but maybe after his combine, he'll get some recognition because he was unbelievable at the combine. But we take him here, 74 overall, hidden development, number 24 in the class. We took him at 62nd. So what to do in the third round here? I just did add another corner in free agency in Trevor Williams. So Lavert Hill's interesting, but I just don't think we need him. Maybe Michael Divinity Jr. from LSU. To be perfectly honest, I haven't watched a whole lot of tape on him, but I know he's got some buzz surrounding him. He's only 67 overall in this draft class. That's fine. That works out for me. I'm not too upset about a pick like that. He'll probably progress pretty decently, and he'll get to work behind Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith, so that works out for me. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones. Now, this could also be Michigan bias because I'm a huge Michigan Wolverines fan, but Donovan Peoples-Jones came into that Michigan program as like one of the top level wide receiver recruits. And obviously his time in Michigan has been a little rocky with, just their success in general, but he's still a great receiver. I think he's got every tool to make it work on the next level. I think realistically, with all the receivers in this class, he'll probably end up going in the third or fourth round. And I just think it's a great pick for whatever team manages to scoop him up. He's 67th in this class overall. We took him at 126. He's a 71 overall, which I like a lot. I think that's a great, he's only 20 years old coming into the league. At the end of the day, as at a 70 or 71, he'll probably get up to a 75 without, increasing his development trade. And that's a good, wide receiver 3 on a good team. So that works out for me pretty nicely. We're starting to get into the later rounds here. Do I keep wanting to go receiver? Kind of, because there's really not a lot of receiver depth on this team whatsoever. Tyler Johnson's an interesting name. Watched a bit of his tape from Minnesota. He's a fun player to watch. Do I think I need another receiver, though? Probably not. I'm going to take Troy Pride Jr. out of Notre Dame. Interesting corner. Again, Some of these later guys I haven't really gotten into scouting yet, but we're just kind of chugging along, taking receivers, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm also going to do a bit of an homage to the creator of these draft classes because, again, I'm going to leave it linked in the description, but Bangle was the guy who managed to get these all together. It's a pretty big job. It's a pretty tough job to create these draft classes and create players and give them accurate stats, overalls, blah, blah, blah. So we in the community really appreciate it. Make sure you go to check out his channel, kind of a running name in the franchises and just, creative players and stuff like that. He goes with Gene Dangus. I don't really know the backstory on it. I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, he's a punter in this game and he's unbelievable, obviously. But it's kind of an homage to him, and I think that's pretty funny. So we're going to end the draft here. Very happy with the draft that we just had. And yeah, we're going to get into the new season eventually. I'm just going to change around the roster a little bit, and then I will show you guys the team going into season number 1. All right, guys, so we're here with the team before season number 1. I've made all the changes that I needed to make to get this team ready to go for the upcoming season. So I just want to go over it really quick. Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, Corey Lindsley. I believe this is Billy Turner. Yeah, he's got a huge old contract on him, but I can't afford to let him go because we don't have another right guard. And then we have Brian Bulaga at right tackle. Albert O, our rookie tight end, leading the way with Jay Sternberger. Receiving core Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, MVS. And then I'm going to move DVP over MVS, which is kind of fun. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling. But, whatever. Aaron Jones is here, obviously, with Jamal Williams. Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. I moved to a 4-3 instead of a 3-4. I just think it generates way more pressure on the quarterback in this game. So we got Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith on the outside, Kenny Clark and Tyler Lancaster. Yeah, Tyler Lancaster in the middle. Blake Martinez as our middle linebacker, Michael Divinity on the left side. Tim Williams, right outside linebacker here. Secondary, Jair Alexander, obviously. Kevin King, who I'm actually going to move above Trevor Williams just because of that superstar development. And then Josh Jackson. Free safety, Darnell Savage is a great player. He was a rookie last season and was amazing. And then Adrian Amos. That's pretty much it for the team here. Everything else looks pretty solid here. I do want DVP in this slot just to see if we can get him Rookie of the Year or maybe a development increase at least. But yeah, I think we're all set to go here for the new season. I am just going to sim to the mid-season mark, and I will see you guys there. Mid-season mark. We are 3-4, coming off a 35-21 loss to the Colts. Kind of reminds me how I did, like PewDiePie, how he does meme review. Mid-season mark. Doesn't really work. I don't know what I was going for. Justin Jefferson, Albert Okwa-Ibenam also have development points, which are nice to see. We're up to an 85 overall offense, 80 defense. Obviously, it's super early on in this rebuild, so trying not to, worry too much about that just yet. But getting into free agency here, obviously, David Bakhtiari. Yeah, I'm going to give him a big old contract because he is a great offensive tackle and deserves a big old contract, but he wants more salary. Kenny Clark, also going to lock him up for 5 years at least. Bump those up for him. Hopefully he takes that, and he does. Aaron Jones, you know what? Yeah, I don't really want to give him a 5-year deal because he'll be 26 this offseason, and if he doesn't go up to superstar development, then that's kind of an issue. But I doubt he'll take this, but I'll bump up the money pretty significantly for him if he takes a 2-year contract, just because I don't know, what he'll look like. But he re-signed, so that's actually unbelievable. We're going to let Jamal Williams walk. Unfortunately, I like his persona and his energy and stuff like that, but he just doesn't fit this team just yet. We're just not looking to re-sign a backup running back. We can get another one at a much more discounted price. The rest of these guys can go, and we have re-signed everyone that we want to re-sign. So, do we want to make a trade? I mean, we're 3-4, so it's not the end of the season just yet. But I mean, we can take a look at some of these salaries. Who's really dragging us down in terms of money? Devontae Adams needs his bag. Zadarius Smith, I'm fine with paying. Bakhtiari, we just gave we're trying to work out an extension with. Preston Smith's getting paid a lot of money. Kenny Clark just got an extension. Corey Linsley's probably a guy that I should look to end up trading next offseason, but since he's not a impending free agent, I know I've got another year, so we are going to go to the playoffs, and I'll see you guys there. All right, we are done and dusted with the first season, and we did not make the playoffs. I don't know our record just yet because I want to update the team first, but man, that's tough to see. Tough to see Aaron Rodgers not go to the playoffs. We go 6-9-1. Okay, we really didn't make the playoffs. What was the issue here? I want to go to the stats just really quick. I mean, Aaron Rodgers had an MVP kind of season. We were 4th in offense, 26th in defense. Okay, so our defense really sucked. Aaron Rodgers was great. A lot of turnovers, not a lot of touchdowns, but a shit ton of yards. I don't even know how he managed almost 5,000 yards with 28 touchdowns, but maybe... No, not even a lot of rushing touchdowns. This is so confusing. Aaron Rodgers added 4 rushing touchdowns? Holy crap, okay. Aaron Jones was meh. That's why I didn't want to sign him to a long-term deal. Donovan Peoples-Jones almost had 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. Vontae Adams right behind him with 1,136 and 10. Albert O showed out with almost 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson was pretty good at 778 and 3. Aaron Jones even added almost over 500 yards receiving, so pretty balanced passing game, not great with the run game. Blake Martinez was our leading tackler with 112. Tackles for loss was 20 for Kenny Clark and 12 sacks for Zadarius Smith, which is great. Preston Smith had 5. Kenny Clark had 4.5. Dean Lowry 4.5. Tim Williams 4.5. Good to see Zadarius Smith get a lot of sacks. Maybe that's a superstar X factor. Probably not, though. Kevin King with 2 picks. Not a lot of picks across the team. Jair didn't have a single one all season, which is kind of unfortunate. And no defensive touchdowns. We're going to go into the yearly awards here really quick just to get those wrapped up. Deshaun Watson is your NFL MVP. We are the Green Bay Packers, so we need to go to the NFC. And Aaron Rodgers finishes number 4 in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Defensive Player of the Year, no Packers. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Donovan Peoples-Jones finishes right behind Justin Herbert at number 2. So that's a little unfortunate. There is Albert O and Justin Jefferson at 5 and 6. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jeff Okudah. Any Packers, Michael Divinity Jr. at the bottom there at number 10, which is nice to see. Best quarterback, Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers finishes 6th. Best running back, Zeke. Allen Robinson, Zach Martin, Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack, Jeff Okudah. No Packers with any awards. That is fine. We're going to go to the offseason here. No need to send to the Super Bowl or anything like that. We are not going to be in it, so it doesn't really matter to us. And the Seahawks beat the Bengals 27-3. I can only assume the Bengals have Joe Burrow, so maybe that's something for next season that we're going to see. Probably not, because they're going to suck, but hey, what do I know? Maybe he takes them to a Super Bowl in his first year. All right, David Bakhtiari is here, and he wants a bigger salary. So, yeah, I'm going to give you a bigger salary. There you go, $82 million over 5, exactly the offer I wanted. Perfect. Corey Linsley actually is a free agent. Shit, I didn't realize that. Okay, whatever. The rest of these guys can walk. We were overpaying Corey Linsley anyways, so that works out for me. It sucks to see Jamal Williams walk. He's such a funny player, but yeah, we're not in the market for a backup running back right now. We could probably land one of those in the draft. Anyways, speaking of the draft, that is where we're going right now. Do we start looking for a quarterback here? We have pick number 7. That is the question. We're going to take a look at this team really quick, just see any development increases or anything of that nature. I don't know if Davante Adams always had superstar X factor, but he definitely has it now. I thought he was superstar, so let me just check this really quick. Oh, he was receptions leader, so he got superstar X factor. That's pretty awesome. Justin Jefferson has star. Donovan Peoples-Jones is up to a 74 already and still has normal, but that works great. Albert O has star development, and he is a 78. Aaron Rodgers is still an 84, so it's like not a disaster if we don't draft a quarterback right away. Blake Martinez stays at superstar development. Anyone else here that looks out of the ordinary? Not really. Everyone else pretty much stayed exactly where they are. So for our off-season plans, I think we look defensive tackle, off-ball linebacker, and offensive line and quarterback, really. I mean, maybe backup running back. That's a lot of needs, but we have the 7th overall pick, so maybe we take this and do something with it. Let's check out who we have to work with here. I'm going to do some scouting, and then I will get back to you guys with our pick in a second. All right, guys, so I've returned from doing my scouting, and it's a very interesting class. Doesn't have a lot of off-the-ball linebackers that really interest me, which is kind of a bummer because it's a position I really wanted to shore up and increase, but there's a lot of really fun defensive tackles in here, which is a position we also definitely need to address. Clearly, there's a couple of guys here. They both have awesome names. We have Rayshawn Lemon here, and we have, from Michigan, by the way, and we have Bart Wall from LSU. Now, both of these guys look awesome and just like great players. I am definitely thinking about maybe passing on Bart Wall and then trying to trade back into the first round for Rayshawn Lemon, because that is just one of the greatest names of all time. To be honest, I don't really know why I like it so much, but it's just so great. Also, a lot of really good offensive line talent in this class. Joey Phillips being one of the premier guys here. So I think he's actually going to be the pick, and then I'm going to try and trade back into the first round for that defensive tackle. So Joey Phillips is the selection here. He's a 77 overall, number 5 in the class. We took him at number 7. Outside of the normal development, he looks like a great player. Could use some run blocking help, but all in all, he looks like a really good tackle. So, I'm super happy with that pick. What I don't want to do is resume the draft and kind of let it get away from me. So I do want to try and trade back into this first round, potentially with my first rounder next year. All right, guys, so I ended up doing a deal to trade back into the first round. Now, I didn't really want to take a risk and go like late first round and risk not getting our guy. So I traded Tim Williams, a 3rd rounder next year, and a 6th rounder this year for pick number 15 from the Baltimore Ravens. And ultimately, the reason why I picked Tim Williams as well was because there's, I believe, a 2nd round talent middle linebacker who I can end up moving to right or left outside linebacker, and I'm pretty sure he'll be a better scheme fit anyways. So I'm going to take our guy here, Rayshawn Lemon. He looks unbelievable, and he's number 1 in the class. We took him at 15, well worth the deal. He's a 79 overall with hidden development, a run-stopping defensive tackle from Michigan, from the Maize and Blue. That is a really awesome selection for us. It shores up our defensive line, obviously. We're going to check in here and see who's left on the board. There's a quarterback in the 4th round who looks really great, so I'm waiting on him. Oh God, I just took him off my draft board. Hold on, let's get him back on there. There you go, Bernard James. He's probably going to end up taken by us. Maybe a Dak Prescott situation. 4th round quarterback turns out to be unbelievable. Here's the guy I was talking about, Jamison Winslow. He's an early 2nd round pick, but these are the kinds of guys who have hidden development, so I'm kind of expecting him to be there in the 3rd round. I don't know if that's a smart call by just not picking him here, but this right guard looks really good. 2nd in bench press reps, which is an indication that he's probably going to be a really high overall. So I'm going to take him here. It's Donald Reed. He's a 75 overall, number 12 in the class. We took him at number 39. I think it's a great pick there. We're going to go to our 3rd round pick. Hope that the linebacker is still there. If not, we'll just take our quarterback here. If everyone's off, then I'm really going to be sad. But we're still here. Quarterback's still there. Unfortunately, our linebacker has gone, but that's all right. We're going to take Bernard James here. He's got A+ throw power, A- break sack, A- throw accuracy short. Crush the combine, is fast, is strong. He's from Oklahoma State. He's a scrambler archetype. He's a late 1st round pick. He's a 72 overall, 21 in the class. We took him at 71, and he's got a hidden development. So that is amazing. Unbelievable pick there. He's going to be our Aaron Rodgers replacement come probably next season if Aaron Rodgers is in like a really steep decline, which I kind of foresee that he will be. So yeah, that is an unbelievable pick there. Really helps us out. I'm just going to go take a look at these middle linebackers if there's anyone of value left. So I didn't even realize, but Larry Dunn is still on our draft board. He's a defensive tackle out of North Dakota State who's got a late first-round projection. He's a power rusher at 6'3", 306, and he's a 71 overall, number 28 in the class. We took him at 103. Still getting that late first-round talent like we always are. So that's a great pick there. I didn't even realize he was on my draft board still. To be honest, I didn't even really check, but hey, that works for me. He's going to be a good player. We're going to go to the end of the draft here. That is it for us. All in all, super successful draft. Cannot complain. We had the number one player in the class coming to our team in our boy Rashawn Lemon, our D tackle of the future. So that's really awesome. Pair him up with Kenny Clark on the inside. I think that's a scary looking duo. I'm going to rearrange the team really quick, and I'll show you guys the final results before we get into next season. All right, guys, we're back here with the team. I've moved some stuff around, so here is our updated roster going into season number 2. We've got Bakhtiari, Phillips, Jenkins. Jenkins had to move to center. Phillips, who we drafted as a left tackle, moves inside to left guard. Reed, who we drafted in the second round. And then Bulaga, Albert O still there, Justin Jefferson, MVS, DVP, Devontae Adams, obviously. Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback for this season. Backing him up is our very exciting incoming rookie, Bernard James. He is a 21-year-old rookie from Oklahoma State. Probably let him ride the bench. And then, obviously, our exciting prospect, Rashawn Lemon from Michigan. Really expecting big things from him. Michael Divinity hopefully is going to step up this season into a bigger role at left outside linebacker. And yeah, that's the rest of the team. I think we're primed and ready to go. We're an 87 on offense, only an 81 on defense. All right, we are here at the mid-season mark. I haven't checked where we are yet. We are 3-4, so same as last season. We have a breakout player challenge. As I've said in previous video, guys, I don't hop in on these. I don't try and improve my team through, getting easy game day goals like that. Eventually I will get to a point where I start a series on my channel doing a franchise and playing every single game. But at this point right now, no, I don't hop into those challenges for players, and they almost never get them in the sim. So in all likelihood, Justin Jefferson will probably be staying at star development, which is kind of unfortunate. I would like to see him go up to Superstar X Factor. I just think it's too cheesy for me to hop in and just throw him the ball 15 times and make sure that he gets it, and then he's got Superstar, and then the team looks obtusely good. So I kind of want to keep a certain level of genuine, I guess, play if you want. Problem is here we're quickly out of money for our superstars after signing Devontae Adams. Jair Alexander needs a new contract. MVS, I'm totally fine letting walk. He's not going to be a big part of this team in the future. Josh Jackson is tough, but I'll probably end up letting him walk too. I don't know. Maybe do we look to have a quarterback change midway through the season? We are only 3-4, so that's not really ideal. James is already up to a 73. He was a 72. He hasn't been getting a lot of snaps, obviously. I think we're going to stand put right now. That's ultimately fine with me. Aaron Rodgers isn't a free agent yet, so I can probably look to move him after this season. So we're going to sim to the playoffs here after spending our coach XP. We are in the playoffs. 9-7 is the record, so we squeak in. But playoff run nonetheless, and we are meeting my favorite team in the NFL in the wild card matchup, the Arizona Cardinals, and we come out on top, 31-24. Who had a good game for us? Aaron Rodgers was fantastic, 258, 3 passing touchdowns. That'll do the trick. That'll do the trick to win a playoff game. Up in the divisional against the 11-5 New Orleans Saints. This would probably be our end here, as we do indeed lose 28-24. Kind of knew that one was coming. Saints are obviously a very good team, so kind of met our maker there, but we did make it to the playoffs, so that is a positive sign. We're going to go into the offseason here, obviously. Take a look at our free agents again. Jair Alexander will probably have to be franchise tagged in all likelihood, which is going to be kind of tough because we do not have the cap to even franchise tag him right now. So, all right, so I guess we're letting Jair Alexander walk. Unfortunately, that's just how it's got to be. We just don't have the cap. Aaron Rodgers' contract is just too big. We can't move it yet because the penalty is really high. And unfortunately, we just don't have the money for it. Definitely have to look corner in this draft for sure. We're down a third-round pick in this draft as well for our trade for Lemon last season. But we have pick number 25. I'm going to go into the team really quick, and we're going to check some development increases. If there is any, everything looks normal across the offensive line. Brian Bulaga is obviously regressing at a pretty alarming rate, but he's still not too bad at only an 81. Justin Jefferson stays at an 80 overall. Donovan Peoples-Jones is at a 75 and normal. Alan Lazard is still here, so not a huge loss. He'd lose MVS, which is fine with me. I kind of predicted that. Michael Divinity Jr. is up to a 71. Anything else here that is impactful? Lemon has only star development, which, isn't great, but, it's fine. It is what it is. Definitely need to address off-ball linebacker and corner now because we just lost Jair. But we're going to sim to our first pick at number 25, see who's on the board here. Didn't really have any plans to move up the board anyways, so I'm okay with that. And I'm going to do some scouting, and then I'll show you guys who we end up taking here at number 25. All right, guys, so I've returned here with our draft board. Clearly that there's not a lot of value left on the board, so I'm more than comfortable with just only taking 3 guys in this draft. I'm really hoping that Kobe Jasper ends up falling to me with my second-round pick at number 25. I might look to move up to get him, but Tyrone Steeples is going to be the pick right now. He's a mid-first round projected corner. Looks really strong, really fast. He's a 73 overall with normal development. He's a good addition to this team. All right, I really didn't think I was going to end up doing this, but the pick is Derek Gizzy. He's a quarterback. Took him at number 39. Took him at number 57. He's 39th in the class. He's a strong arm out of Virginia. Buzz Tyler is going to be the pick. Should probably be Tyler Buzz, but Buzz Tyler is the guy. 65 overall. Not a bad player at all for where we got him. And honestly, that's going to be the end of the draft. There's just not a whole lot of talent out there. So hopefully, we kind of tried to replace Jair Alexander. I don't know how successful we were. It's hard to replace a guy like that. But the cap, man, the cap is just killing us on this team. And that kind of goes back to my original thoughts on Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith's contract. I thought they were huge for those kinds of guys. Edge rushers and their quality / effectiveness changes on a yearly basis. Look at Shaq Barrett. He literally could not get a job in Denver, and then he goes to Tampa Bay, and he's unbelievable. So that's a tough situation that they put themselves in, especially with how big Aaron Rodgers' contract is as well. I'm going to give Donovan Peoples-Jones an upgrade in the slot because that's where he's going to be playing a lot this season. And that's it. We're going to get into the season now. Mid-season mark here. We are 5-2, so finally showing some positive records at the mid-season mark. Zadarius Smith is here. I mean, we have a lot of money now, probably because Aaron Rodgers' contract is expiring. I don't know for certain that that's the case, but I would assume that's the reason why we have so much. So I only want to give him a 3-year deal here because he's going to be 30 in the offseason. It'll take him until he's 33. Adrian Amos went up to superstar development, which I didn't even mention or see really, but that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure he started off at star development, so that's really reassuring. Give him a 3-year deal. He wants a better salary. So Zadarius wants a better bonus and duration. He wants a better bonus and duration as well. That's tough for us because these guys are getting into their 30s now. We don't really want to sign them to 5-year deals, but I guess eventually at some point we probably will just because, we're getting into probably the second last season of this rebuild. So give Aaron Jones whatever he wants. Sure, he's maintaining his 87. He still wants a better salary, so that does not really feel great. Preston Smith here is going to walk. Bulaga is going to walk. Elton Jenkins, I definitely want to bring back on a 5-year deal because he's still very young, and he's also a great player. So he wants a better salary as well. So we're not really getting a lot of help from our players here. Darnell Savage, absolutely, I want to come back on a 2-year deal, give him a higher bonus and salary, and he stays with the team, which is great. And the rest of these guys, we don't have to sign just yet. On to the end of the season here. I think we're ready for the playoffs. We're 6-2. hard pressed to imagine that we don't make the playoffs here, but stranger things have happened, so whatever. Week 17 here, and we make it into the playoffs with a first round bye. That is what I'm talking about. Donovan Peoples-Jones had 3 experience points there, which is pretty significant. Wouldn't be surprised to see a development trait for him. But here we are in the divisional. We have the Carolina Panthers. We both went 12-4. I realized I didn't show the stats for last season, so I will show those stats now. Aaron Rodgers was unbelievable in the number 1 offense in the NFL. Almost 5,000 yards passing, 39 touchdowns. 13 picks is still a lot, but not bad. 74% completion percentage. He is a laser beam. Aaron Jones, over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Bo Scarborough even added 7 touchdowns to his resume. Receiving, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, 1-2 punch of 11, 22, and 10. Alberto, almost 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 753 and 5. I mean, talk about the shocker of the whole rebuild. Donovan Peoples-Jones is having a better rebuild than Justin Jefferson is, which is kind of what I figured by putting him in the slot. But I also think he's a great player, which is what I talked about as well. Blake Martinez led the team with 102 tackles. Tackles for loss was led by Zadarius Smith with 13. Sacks, Rayshawn Lemon, our boy, with 11 sacks from the defensive tackle position. Zadarius Smith added 8. Kenny Clark had 6. Preston Smith with 4.5. Interceptions here, 3 for the rookie Tyrone Steeples, which is great to see. Trevor Williams had 2, Blake Martinez had 2, and Adrian Amos with 1. Any defensive touchdowns? 0. Here we are. We are going into the divisional round against the 12-4 Panthers. I am just going to sim this week. Hopefully we get through them and we get into the conference championships, and we don't. 28-21 is the final result. We lose in the divisional round. And yeah, that's unfortunate. This is probably going to be our last season upcoming here. So hopefully we get our stuff together and can manage a decent playoff run, because we've made them twice and we have come out empty both times. So hopefully we figure this out. Preston Smith can go. Brian Bulaga can go. Trevor Williams can go. Jay Sternberger, I still want to get back on like a pretty short deal, so I'm going to give him that, and hopefully he takes that. He wants to go to free agency, which is really annoying because I would like to have him as a backup tight end, but whatever. Really quick before we get into the free agency, though, we are going to check the team for development traits. I'm expecting DVP to have star. That is what I'm talking about. I think we're ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers, which is, you know, a little bit unfortunate considering how great he was last season. But I think it's time. I think we look to trade him to a team who can actually afford this salary. The Lions want him, which is super funny. We're going to throw in Aaron Rodgers, 2 third-round picks for number 9 in the upcoming draft. That goes through with the Lions. Aaron Rodgers and his salary cap are no longer on the team. We have our guy stepping up into his role. James here, Bernard James, Oklahoma State graduate. On to the defense now. Divinity Jr. goes up to star development, which is awesome. That is super great to see. Blake Martinez still in the middle there. Definitely going to need an edge rusher for sure to go alongside Zadarius Smith, but that's pretty much it. I mean, probably corner for sure. We're going to take a look in free agency here, see who is available. And yeah, I think we're going to make a pretty big splash here. We should have a ton of cap. Bobby Wagner's here. Jason Kelsey's here. Josh Allen. Josh Allen is going to be the guy that we try and sign here. We're definitely going to have a shot at a bunch of guys, so I'm definitely good with giving Josh Allen a nice old contract. 97 points, still not even the top offer, so we're going to go big here. We're going to go up to $10 million. We're going to go up to five in bonus. That seems fair. Yeah, this will undoubtedly be the number 1 offer by a long shot, but I need to make sure that I bring him in. Bobby Wagner is actually super interesting, just on like a 2-year deal. I don't know if this is a good move, but we're kind of in a win now scenario, so screw it. We're going to get him on the team. Do I need a corner? Absolutely. I'm just going to see if I can get one on a bit of a budget here. Maybe a Greedy Williams. That makes perfect sense to me. Only 25 still. Lower his salary and bonus a little bit. 89 points. I'm perfect right there with him. Anyone else? Chris Harris is old AF, so don't need him. Justin Lane I might sign for just depth. He's going to be super cheap, so that works for me. Give him that deal right there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for free agency. We're going big on the top 2 of 3 guys. So we get Bobby Wagner, we get Greedy Williams, we get Justin Lane, and we get Josh Allen. So those are huge additions to this team as our overall skyrockets. And we are picking here at number 9. Don't want to trade up any more than we already have. We just acquired this number 9 pick. As a great corner goes off the board, which is tough to see because we desperately do need very good corners. But I'm going to scout these guys, make sure we get the right pick, and I'll show you guys when we're back who we end up drafting. All right, so this was another tough one for me, but I think Jaron Wayne is ultimately the biggest need on this team at corner, so I think he's going to end up being the pick here. He's a 73 overall with hidden development. He was number 18th in the class. We took him at number 9. We took him purely based on a team need. I want to reiterate that just because, I mean, he's not the highest overall. He wasn't the best player available, but we desperately do need cornerbacks, and hopefully ends up being great. Now, George Beard is also here. He's an elusive back out of Alabama. We do need a backup running back behind Aaron Jones, and I think he's going to be the guy. Bradley Mitchell is going to be our guy here. Right tackle, he's very agile. Out of Miami, he's a 76 overall with hidden development. That is great to see. He's a huge addition for our team. Anyways, we are going to get into the last season here. This is the final season of the rebuild. We're an 85 offense, 83 defense. I'm hoping that does go up over the course of the season. All right, guys, so the team's all reorganized and everything now. We're an 87 on offense, 83 on defense. I think the biggest problem with this team as of right now is probably the secondary. It's just not looking super solid, obviously with the exception of our 2 safeties there who look pretty good, but I mean, losing Jair Alexander is really tough for this rebuild. I probably didn't play that very well. I probably should have just franchise tagged him. But there wasn't really a whole lot we could do, to be perfectly honest, with the salary cap situation that the Packers managed to put themselves in prior to me taking over this team. But it is what it is. We lost him. He's gone now. This team made it to the playoffs last year as a 12-4 team. I'm expecting to be that good again this season. Hopefully the new quarterback under the helm doesn't completely blow it. And we are here at the midseason mark. We are 6-0. Oh, baby. Okay, we are rocking and rolling here. Yeah, this new team is looking really nice, obviously with the addition of Josh Allen in the offseason and Bobby Wagner. I'm not going to re-sign any players or anything like that. We're not continuing this rebuild after the season. We're going up against the 6-1 Bears, obviously, right now, which is very, very, very tough interdivision play here. Very tight between 2 teams. The Lions and the Vikings are trash. Ironically, the Lions were the team we ended up trading Aaron Rodgers to, so that's pretty fun. We're going to the playoffs, however. This is the last season, so whatever happens, happens. 6-0 start, you have to imagine that we're making it. And we are, with a first-round bye. Wow, Bernard James has 3 XP points, so this team is firing on all cylinders. 89 on offense, 84 on defense. Obviously, we know the defense was the weak part of this team, especially the secondary, but clearly we managed to do a pretty good job finishing 13-3. Gene Dangus, our boy, finally got a new ability unlocked as our punter, so that's pretty great. We're going to skim over the wild card weekend, and we are going against those very same 12-4 Bears who we faced in week 7, who were 6-1 at the time, or week 8, I guess. All right, so checking the stats here, Bernard James didn't exactly set the NFL on fire or anything, but he was very, very solid. We had the number 1 defense in the NFL as well. He had a 78% completion percentage, which is really, really good. 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 picks. Picks are a little high, but whatever. Aaron Jones, almost 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. George Beard, who we drafted last season, added 308 on the ground, which is great. Bernard James had a rushing touchdown. Devontae Adams, 945 yards, 8 touchdowns. Albert O, Mr. Consistency, 9, 2, 2, and 8. Justin Jefferson, 8, 16, and 4. Donovan Peoples-Jones, bit of a down year, 728 and 7. Aaron Jones still contributing through the air. So was Isaac Nuada, who we re-signed, who had 6 touchdowns out of our backup tight end spot, which is great. Let's check out this defense. Bobby Wagner was obviously a beast, leading the way with 129 tackles, 5 for loss. Josh Allen led the way with 15 tackles for loss. Darius Smith, 12. Rashawn Lemon with 11. A lot of pressure coming into the backfield there from those guys. Sack numbers are pretty trash. Josh Allen, 6.5. Darius Smith and Rashawn Lemon all sharing 6.5 sacks. Let's see the picks here. 3 for Bobby Wagner led the way. Greedy Williams with a couple. Kevin King, Darnell Savage the same. Blake Martinez also added 1. Any defensive touchdowns? No. We are officially at the divisional point. Now, I don't jump in the divisional, so I'm leaving this entirely up to the sim. This is almost always where we lose, and I don't even get a chance to super sim the conference finals, but here we are in the divisional against the 12-4 Bears. Let's hope and pray that we get past them, and we do. 27-14 is your final score. That's great to see. Finally get past the divisional round where we have lost in this rebuild a couple of times. NFC Conference Finals against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so we're here in the sim. We go up 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Dallas answers with a field goal. However, we are crushing them with touchdowns. It's 21-3 in the third quarter. They finally get a touchdown. Oh, we are just crushing. We are rolling late in the fourth quarter. That is it. 34-17. We didn't even need to hop in on that game. Usually I would have hopped in to make sure that we get the win. But Bernard James, our drafted quarterback, had an unbelievable game. Unbelievable. 83% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. A 132 QBR. Ridiculous. Aaron Jones added 116 on the ground with no touchdowns. We shut down Zeke. Shut him down. He had 14 rushes for 30 yards. 2.1 a carry. Unbelievable. Justin Jefferson led the way for us with 74 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. He showed out. DVP had 49 yards. Albert O had 47. We are balanced. Michael Gallup led the whole game with 91 receiving yards. But, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. This is like one of the few opportunities that we have a Super Bowl in our midst, in a rebuild here on the channel. I've blown them in the past where, I've thrown a dumb pick or whatever. It is what it is. We're going to skim by the Pro Bowl. Obviously, no one plays the Pro Bowl. It shouldn't even really be a thing in the NFL, in my personal opinion. Just because, no one cares about the Pro Bowl. People care about being all pro, and no one really wants to play in the Pro Bowl. Final team here before we get into the Super Bowl. This is the final roster. Yeah, built a very solid offensive line. Obviously, Bakhtiari and Jenkins are the remaining pieces left of the original offensive line. Added Albert O in the incoming rookies in 2020 in the second round. Devontae Adams, 98, cruising. Justin Jefferson up to an 85, who we added in that same draft with Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's actually been slightly better than Justin Jefferson despite the disparity in their overalls. Bernard James, let me tell you, first opportunity to be a starting quarterback in an NFL team, and he shows out, goes up to superstar. That's great to see. On to the defense. Divinity Jr. goes up to superstar, who we also drafted in that same draft with Albert O, Justin Jefferson, all those guys. Blake Martinez up to an 82. Bobby Wagner, who we signed in free agency. Rashawn Lemon, our number 1 overall talent, defensive tackles, already up to an 85 at only 23 years old, I believe. 23, right? Yeah, 23 years old. Secondary isn't great, obviously, but we've got our guy Wayne there, who's gone up to star development as a rookie. Yeah, this team's great. This team is, I can't complain. We're going up against the 11-3-2 Miami Dolphins in this game. So let's get into it. We are an 86 overall team. They are an 83, and they have Tua Tagovailoa. So this is going to be a very interesting game. All right, so we have begun simming our game here against the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl. No scoring after the first quarter here. Driving down the field, we get a touchdown before the half. 7-0 into halftime, 14-0 Green Bay, 21-0 Green Bay. Oh, it's a rout. It is a rout. We are killing the game here. I just want to slow this down just a little bit. Miami is driving on our... oh, we turned the ball over. Nice. We got an interception or something like that. Punt it back to them. I'm going to play some defense here just for the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds. There's no way that this team is coming back at this point. It's going to be great. We're going to have the first Super Bowl on the channel ever. I've only done a handful of rebuilds to this point, but we haven't managed to win a Super Bowl yet. So this is pretty exciting for me. I've had a bit of a dry spell while I've been recording these and actually winning Super Bowls. So this is great for us, as somehow that catch gets caught by Devontae Parker, I think. Bobby Wagner was like all over him there, but somehow he brings that one in. And we are all over Tua, picked off. Oh, baby Greedy Williams takes it the other way. And this is officially the game. It is over. It was over before this, but I just want to get a couple snaps in on offense. This is great to see. I mean, with all the, trouble surrounding sports right now with the coronavirus and stuff like that, it's nice to see me get a Super Bowl, raise my spirits a little bit. I'm really sad about all the, all the professional sports leagues having to cancel games and stuff like that. I understand it. It's a public safety issue. I get it, but it's tough. I look forward to March Madness all year. I look forward to the NFL draft all year and stuff like that. So to have this really unfortunate illness surrounding all of it and putting a damper on it is, it's a bummer. I don't think any sports fan would deny that. But this one feels good. This one feels good. As we're going to take the final snap here. 3 turnovers on the game for Miami is not great, but we get outside with Jones there, and that is it for us. Your Green Bay Packers are the 2023 Super Bowl champions. We trade Aaron Rodgers last year after leading us to the playoffs again. Bring in our second or third year quarterback, Bernard James, and he leads us on a 13-3 season, which ends in a Super Bowl with a shutout over the Tua Tagovailoa-led Miami Dolphins. And that was just a great game. Great game to see. Get a Super Bowl win under the belt for the channel. Feels real nice. And that's going to be it for the video. That's going to be it for the rebuild. I think we built a pretty great team. Obviously, with Jair Alexander getting away from us, our defensive overall took a pretty big hit, but I think we managed to build a pretty fantastic team. There's a ton of superstar development on this roster, literally all over the place. But yeah, it feels pretty good. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know what your thoughts on the upcoming NFL draft are, NFL free agency, whatever you want to talk about, drop a comment in my video, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you for watching, and have a good one. Peace.